All right. Let's talk about energy and filters. Okay, so everybody knows this. We put on different masks for different people. We have this inner analysis always happening, which says, I think that this person has these expectations of me. I want to adhere to them, or I want to do what makes this person happy. I want to be the version of me that this person wants, so that this person wants to keep me around, etc. I'm not saying this is a blanket statement. I think there are people out there that are not on that scale at all, and I think there are people that do that in unhealthy amounts, but I think that the average person is probably somewhere in the middle of we're monitoring ourselves in relation to our perception of how other people are perceiving us at the moment. At its unhealthiest, it's just on the softer, unhealthy side of the spectrum, it's just basic self-consciousness. I'm just kind of worried what other people think, and so I'm not gonna really make a scene very often. I'm not gonna speak up a lot. I'm not even sure if I like what I'm wearing today. I don't know, people think this necklace is weird. There's just those levels of self-consciousness. And then there's unhealthy levels of just not caring at all what other people think, which just means being yourself, but saying things that are inappropriate to a situation, saying everything that's on your mind when it definitely wasn't asked for, or isn't called for, or is going to be hurtful, where you could have said it a different way if you thought about it longer. The entirely unfiltered person is probably not doing an amazing social job either. But let's assume that most people are probably hiding more than they want to. And this is not just in day-to-day interactions, but in general. I think that people, it's my belief that people want to be known. And it's my belief that people want to be known for how they really are, for who they truly are, their true colors. I want you to see my true colors and then form your opinions. It's great if you accept me. That's awesome. Bonus. But at the end of the day, I just want to know that it's gonna be okay. That I'm gonna survive being myself. And a lot of us are raised for some reason to not think that, or we've had enough experiences where people put us down or bullied us, or maybe we were raised really dogmatically, or we go to a church that tells us a lot of things aren't okay, even if they feel what we want to do or who we want to be. There's so many ways that there's so many directions this comes from that we can kind of get attacked on. And it's very subtle, it's a very subtle attack that happens to us, but eventually what we do is we put up all these filters that are really just barriers. They're really just defenses against negative thoughts from other people. And I just want to say from experience that putting on a mask, or putting on filters, because there's a difference between being fake also. If you really are just chaining your whole character around somebody because you think that's who they want you to be, that's one thing. There's a difference between that like being fake, and there's a difference between like not showing up, like and hiding. And I want to talk about the hiding part. It takes work to hide. It takes work to not be everything that you are. Because what do you naturally want to do? You want to be who you are. Like, everything in nature just is what it is. So, if there's any part of you that is, and you're having to not express that, it is a repression. Like, that does take effort. The filter is not just this like passive, it's not this passive thing, it's this active, reactive thing that's constantly taking in external factors and then doing calculations to make sure that you're going to be compatible with those external factors. And yeah, so that takes work. I've been coming to this realization in my own life that I was doing so much work with people to like not hurt feelings, to not be too controversial, to kind of only say what I know is going to be expected, to avoid rejection. That's a huge one. Like, that's a huge one that I was doing, because like I would be excited about something. I've just had enough times in my life where I was excited about something and I expressed that to somebody, and like they met me with like, that's cool, or like, that's great, that's nice, with just like no ounce of genuine curiosity. You know, just good for you, basically. I've been met with that so many times in my life that I've learned to just kind of like assume that my excitement does not belong in my conversations. There's not room for me to be excited about the things that I'm excited about. No one really wants to hear it. So like, I'm doing this active job of every time like I want to be excited about something, of then saying, nope, you should find something else to talk about. But the something else isn't what naturally came up. So it takes work. Now I'm not only hiding something, I'm having to dig up something else, and I'm having to do that like guessing. Like, I'm guessing, and guesswork takes a lot of mental calories as well. Okay, so like there's all these processes going on, and don't underestimate mental energy. Like, this is an organ in your body, and we tend to like see it as separate for some reason. Like, we think mind and body are different, and so like you don't think about tiredness as often coming from the mind. I've dealt with fatigue issues for a lot of my adult life, but it's funny. I first targeted like food, nutrition, I targeted exercise, and I targeted like my lifestyle, and those things were all good. Like, those are absolutely good, and they did help. But I still just have had this feeling for years and years and years of general exhaustion. Like, exhaustion as default. Being ecstatic when I feel like I have energy. Just being like, wow, what did I do right? Oh my god, I have energy today? How do I preserve this? How do I keep this feeling? This is amazing. But then like I realize there's people out there that feel like that every day. Why can't I feel like that? And it's so frustrating for me. What I've found and what I've stumbled upon as I do a lot of mental work, I'm doing a lot of personal development, I'm in a guided program that's helping a lot. What I've realized is there's a lot of voices in me that I wasn't involving in my own conversations, like with myself, that like I just wasn't incorporating. I haven't been an integrated person. I wasn't inviting all parts of myself to the table or to the conversation. So that was taking a lot of work, like constant work, constant decision making and filtering, just to like try to fit into this world in the way that I've been conditioned to think that the world works. And it was exhausting, literally, like to my core. And every time I uncover a new voice and I give it life and try to find its healthy role in my life, I literally feel my energy levels increasing and just feeling more natural every single day. It's insane. And I used to be this kind of like hypochondriac who, you know, I'd wake up just tired and just like sludge through my day just tired and be like, oh, that's because I did that last night, you know, that's because I drank that, that's because I didn't have enough of this, that's because I'm dehydrated, that's because hanging out with that person wore me out, that's because I'm an introvert and I was too social this week. Like, I would just come to all these conclusions about what had made me tired, and it made me like afraid of almost everything. It was made me afraid of having too little of things, too much of things, of being too social, of not being social enough. Like, I was just afraid of everything. I couldn't find the equation to like me being an energetic person. And it's very clear to me now that just like I was spending like half of my energy repressing parts of myself. So I'm making this video just to encourage people to do inner work, which yes does take work and which does take effort, but like, I hope you can find the tools, and I hope to share some tools that I've been using, but to invite all parts of yourself into all parts of your life. Like, how can all parts of yourself authentically show up to all of your interactions that you have with friends, acquaintances, strangers, co-workers, family, lovers? How can you bring all of yourself to all of that? Because you will find that you have more energy to be you and to do things and to talk to people and to message people. What's wearing you out very well might be your own filter work. Again, not a blanket statement. There are a lot of things that affect our energy. Everything affects your energy. But this is probably a bigger one than people realize. Just because it was a bigger one than I realized by exponential degrees. Show up. How are you going to show up? As your authentic self to everything that you do.